the most difficult thing you can build in tech and the most difficult thing you can sell. Is probably the most difficult business model you can imagine.
We're here with co-founder of TradeLocker, Luka Knezic, a good friend of mine and a client. We worked about a couple of months ago together. What's new at TradeLocker? Or for first, give people an intro about TradeLocker, give people an intro about you, and then we're going to go into what's new at TradeLocker.
Yeah, I'm Luka, born here also in Croatia, lived in Malta for the last 7 years, and done a ton in these last 14 years in business, and now have a couple of companies, one of which is TradeLocker. It's one of the main forex or CFD trading platforms, and now I'm focused on just scaling it, growing into a unicorn, let's say, or as big as possible.
Yep.
And we were working together. I know Tony for a while, and we never worked together, but I saw the testimonials, saw the reviews. It was amazing, and he offered to help. We talked, and very quickly they solved one of the biggest problems we had. I was impressed with the whole process, but I can talk about it in the next video or during the conversation. But yeah, then it's amazing to talk to you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. I want to give people first. I want to give you the opportunity to share more about TradeLocker, share more about yourself. I think one of the unique thing about your story is you've done so many businesses and so many different businesses before doing TradeLocker, which is now your sort of main one, and you're also involved into multiple ones. Can you tell people a bit more about your background? I know you've been doing business at this. You know, you're not an old guy, but you have the experience of an old guy in business.
Yeah.
You've been doing business probably since your teenage years.
Yeah.
How did you get started in business? What were the different business models? What were different companies you started, failed, and then how did you ultimately end up starting TradeLocker?
Yeah. So I had a single mother and a brother. She had us during war in Croatia, and she at the same time was raising us during war and started a company. And I didn't know that, like, as a kid you don't just leave. And as kids we were super competitive, and we were always the youngest, and everybody else around us was like doing their stuff, we were doing our stuff, but they wanted to hang out with us. We're doing I have so many stories from childhood.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that was not a normal childhood until I was like 27, I think. Then I started talking about my childhood because it was just normal. Never spoke about it because my friends are my friends. Why would you talk to them?
Yep.
Just when I moved abroad, then I realized, fuck, people actually don't have interesting childhoods. They didn't live like that. And we always were very competitive. I was very competitive in schools. Went to every single competition I could imagine, and was very good in sports, also very competitive. We were playing basketball at a very high level in the country, water polo, and when I was 14, my brother and I, we wanted to earn money. We saw our mother was struggling, or it wasn't that obvious, but I knew the numbers and what she's doing, and I wanted to
there was stress.
And I also wanted
involved
to earn money. Like it's just, and in Croatia, it's very difficult to earn money in Croatia because at that time, internet businesses were not that popular. The only thing you could do is be there physically, but it's illegal as a 14-year-old to earn money. So we were just collecting coins from like different like from floor between sofas, and we were just trying stuff. And then we started cutting grass, cleaning cars. Then we started making torches and smoke bombs. So there was
torches and smoke bombs.
Yeah. So we were 14.
Like pyrotechnics, like...
Yeah, so there was this, I don't know if you remember LimeWire.
Yeah.
So there was no BitTorrent and stuff,
right.
And then you couldn't download a movie, but you could download a song, and you could download a file, a PDF, for example. And my brother downloaded Anarchist Cookbook. And we were like, what the fuck is that? We started reading it, and there was, I think, exactly 1,000 illegal things you can do at home, I think, if I remember correctly. And we tried everything. We made napalm bomb, like a mini bomb. Like we made a bomb from a tennis ball and matches. We created our firecrackers. We And then we started making smoke bombs and torches, and those are the most interesting ones because they're different. Like you were curious, how can I make one? We were always looking at how can I make one, because my friend, her father had a pyrotechnic company, one of the biggest ones in Croatia, and I was always looking. I have to buy those things. And I was like, I will make my own. And we were at that time the youngest in our environment, but we were also like, people liked us because of that. We were always doing stupid things. And even though we were great students, we were just surrounded by, we went from lowest level of like people who were stealing and taking knives everywhere and things like that to becoming punk rockers. We were still great at school and going to all these competitions, but we were just, my brother and I had the mohawks and then selling torches.
You get a picture of that.
Yeah, and went to the concerts. And it was just like 2-3 years when we were doing that. And at that time, we were surrounded by these kind of people and hooligans, and we were selling those to hooligans. And then, like, smoke bombs, super easy to make at home. Guys, if you want to... I won't say the recipe, but you basically mix can O3, like a smoke bomb. We call it can. It's basically a thing you use to make plants grow faster. I don't know, what's the fertilizer. And you mix it with... wood. What is the thing you put in hamsters aquarium, like to
I know.
Wood chip. What is it? Wood chip. And you mix that in some kind of ratio with water, and then you dry it in the sun on aluminum foil. And when it's dry, you just put it together. It's like an aluminum ball that you just touch with the lighter. It immediately smokes. I have some videos from the first one. It's ridiculous, like the whole neighborhood is smoking. And then torch is very similar, I won't tell this one. This one is more dangerous because if you burn it, first of all, it's a very high temperature and you're sealing. So our mother didn't know what we were doing, but our kitchen would forever be ruined if she knew, because our friend who was doing that as well when we did it, he was a little bit older, but his whole kitchen ceiling was black forever. You cannot take this down.
Because of the smoke
Smoke is, I think, sugar when you mix it with this and that. I won't tell you the recipe, but it just like sticks. And you need to just scrape it off.
Scrape it off. So you went from a child arm dealer, or a teenage arms dealer, to starting,
low level.
to starting, I think then you went into marketing and other sort of businesses.
No, then we were, after that, we started an Airsoft club. Like I was about 15, and that's super interesting. Nobody knows what's Airsoft. Even today, a lot of people don't know. They know about paintball, but they don't know about Airsoft. And we ordered guns from Belgium. And like 3 or 4 of us, our friends were, like, we co-founded a club. It wasn't even a club. We didn't tell anybody. Now imagine if you know what...
A group of kids with guns?
Yes, like 2 15 and 16-year-olds and 2 22-year-olds running in the woods, looking like arms people, but they were not. And at that time...
So wait, how old are you?
15, I think. 15 16.
How old are you when you were doing smoke bombs then?
14, 15.
14, all right, so that was
like maybe I don't remember exactly. I have videos, maybe there is date and metadata, but yeah. But the interesting thing about Airsoft Club was we were 4 of us shooting each other in woods where people are running and cycling, like as recreational, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and we have so many stories there, but it grew quickly to like 15 people, a lot of who were people, veterans, war veterans, because it was after war in Croatia, and arms, literally people who worked in the army, and CEOs of companies, literally CEOs, where I met a lot of interesting people still today. And because they had to have money to buy a gun that's like 500 euros in Croatia, that was like a lot of money back then. And it grew to, and then we had to tell the police we were doing it. And imagine you're running in the woods, and there's like just guns, like bullets flying next to you. You'll be confused because you don't know what's Airsoft. And there were so many incidents, so many stories, and then we just left when it was about 40 people. And then it was a proper club, registered, it still exists today. Or it split, and the other one exists today still. And then we just stopped. And from then on, I'm not interested in that much in paintball, in airsoft, things like that.
Much?
Yeah. And then from there, we started. I started working in my mother's business in travel agency. We founded a company, brother and I. I was a personal trainer, and there it was super interesting. That was just when the Gymshark was starting. I had the same supplier
Oh, wow.
But for some reason I just stopped. And I met the first millionaire when I was 18, 19. And then I said, I want to be in business completely. Then I said, okay,
This
I
is
quit
it.
college and went back to my mother's business,
Uh-huh.
started working there, started learning about marketing there.
Mhm.
I think, I don't remember who I learned from in the beginning, but I do remember Ty Lopez had nothing, and it was just a shitty website.
Yeah.
And he gave 67 steps for free. And I still have a login, and I have tons of courses I didn't pay. I don't know why I have them for free, but I never
Yeah.
paid for any. And it's just like that. That's basically the beginning, yeah. When
Oh.
I started working in marketing, learning about marketing, things like that.
So you and your brother, you started working at your mom's sort of like travel agency,
Yeah.
right? How do you transition? How did you guys transition from, all right, obviously serving that locally and doing that locally? How did you guys then transition into working with clients internationally, and then adding on services to that? Did you guys obviously went through the courses and stuff like that? I'm sure that sort of opened you ideas. Did you do the typical sort of SMMA as most entrepreneurs your age and our age kind of do?
We never felt it was local. The travel agency business is extremely logistically complex. And we had thousands of suppliers all over Europe and some in Asia, because you always have to be able to know who to call.
Yeah.
And negotiate prices and things like that. So we were really good at it because we were very flexible, and it's probably the worst business model to have, but also the best to learn about business, in my opinion. Now when I look back, I'm like, what the hell? Like nothing even compares to how complex that was.
Right.
You have about 1,000 tourists who pay you traveling every month. Every month there's about 1,000 that is abroad, and usually they're in groups of 50, one bus, and they're somewhere 1,000 kilometers away or 3,000 away.
And you're responsible for
And
them.
you're responsible, and they will always sue you as the agency as
If
being
something
responsible.
happens.
Like we had kids getting lost. We had literally MSC cruisers not going out because of the waves, and we would
People
be
still
guilty
suing
again,
you.
and
Yeah.
you cannot control that. We had buses canceling us a day before the trip. We had buses breaking down 2,000 kilometers away, and you still have to be profitable. You still have to fix it immediately, or the whole trip and the plan will be destroyed.
Yep.
And you still don't get paid immediately. You get paid 12 or 18 months after. And usually about 10% of those never even pay you.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
And your competitor then starts being Booking.com, TripAdvisor, and all of
new
these
companies
ones.
started to pop up.
Yeah, and then like, that's all what was happening. So it is very interesting to learn about business and to react under stress, not having a problem, calling somebody, explaining who you are very quickly and how you solve the problem while still keeping the profit and things like that. So it's like I got tons of stories there as well. But
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. And then when did you? So I know you guys grew up just outside of Zagreb in a smaller city. How did you? Did you and your brother move to Zagreb? How did that entire thing?
So he moved to Zagreb. I was still in my hometown, and he was trying things in Zagreb at the same time. I moved, then I was doing that personal. I was a personal trainer. I was really popular because I was.
Probably one of the first ones.
I was one of the first ones, and nobody was doing it online.
Yeah.
And the moment I published, like...
So this is what, 2013,
2012.
2012. Oh, wow. So super early.
Yeah.
Like pre-Instagram.
Nobody was... I don't know, maybe somebody watching knows Mark Fit.
Yeah.
Or Gymshark was just starting out. Nobody knew about them.
Yeah.
There was no influencer online.
Right, there wasn't a
trainer.
term called influencer back
Yeah,
then.
yeah. And then I published my photos online. I had whole world messaging me on Instagram.
Wow. Oh, so you were doing this, you weren't doing this locally. You started doing this...
Yeah. I was selling nutrition plans, training plans, locally, internationally. I didn't care. And I had so many YouTube videos I never posted.
Really?
For some reason, I was like, oh, it's not good enough. And then I was thinking, oh, everybody's taking steroids. I don't want to. And I was eating so much. I had the problem going out without eating every 2-3 hours because I was afraid I would lose muscle.
Do you have pictures? That's you in tip-top
I was
shape.
ripped as fuck. Like, I looked really good. But I was super disciplined. I had weeks and months eating no carbs or almost no carbs. I tried everything. I tried not drinking water just to get ripped. I went to fashion shows, leading fashion shows. Like I did things because I wanted.
You're a man of many talents.
Yeah. But the cool thing was I met first time millionaires during that time,
Yep.
and then smoked the first cigar back then.
Yeah.
That was also very memorable experience to me. And I stopped doing everything, like the modeling, the training. I still was training. I was always very in shape, but I stopped training other people. Group training stopped selling everything. I even erased Instagram, which I'm sad that I did that back then. And I'm sad I didn't continue, because now I see all these guys that were starting with me are huge, ginormous. But because I started that business thing, I started networking more and more with people, learning about marketing, and we were launching an energy drink in Croatia that was very short-lived, but I started getting experience. It all goes to zero, and now we have a choice, whether as a travel agency who gets money up front to pay the hotels, to pay the buses, the plane tickets and everything else in advance to get a better price and to secure the seats, whether we return that money to our clients, the passengers, or we just say we go bankrupt and that's it, because nobody else wanted to give us money back. No hotel wanted to give you money back during COVID because they were afraid they will go bust. Or a lot of them did, and we still got them owing us money.
So at that point, you guys were 75% of your all businesses, basically 3 out of 4 businesses were related to tourism directly.
Yes, hospitality.
Yeah, and then COVID hit, which we all know what it did to that industry.
Yeah.
And then how do you guys shift from that?
Yeah, so we decided to give all the money back to everybody.
Okay.
We get about 50% of companies around, and I don't remember exactly, but through time they gave us money back. We still have probably 100,000 euros what they were missing, but that doesn't matter. It's COVID. I learned very quickly that we're done with the business. I tried to persuade my mother, my brother, that we were not going to have business for the next 2 years, because I have really, I'm happy, I'm lucky I have this friend from Germany, very successful entrepreneur, who told me what's happening, because he's connected all over the world. And he told me, you're not going to have any business for next at least 2 years. And I didn't trust that, but then luckily we started. That was scary, and like everything changes. And then I started consulting other businesses in the US and Canada, and just trying any way to earn money in any other way, to give the money back and also to survive, to keep it, and see what I'm going to do next. And by the end of the year, and that's when I was running and working. That's my life. And that was probably the best year in my life. Because there was no FOMO, nobody asked you, everybody's the same level, whether you are super rich or super poor. You have internet and you have to stay in the same place. You don't need to meet, and nobody expects you to go there. Trust levels online are high. That's what I'm good at. And I start earning the money and giving it back to the customers, and also saving, and just running and working. It was great, and I fucked up my knees back then. Still today, I feel the consequences, but I felt like I had some demons in my head. I feel like it's changed me. So I still feel like I'm a different person. So from then.
From that.
Yeah. And then I had some months, I moved back to Malta. So I was in Malta during COVID, back to Croatia, and then after COVID, or during COVID, I went back to Malta, lived in a nice village, had park of nature next to me, had a huge apartment, huge terrace. I was living there and just working online. And tons of things also happened in between. And I was thinking what to do next. I didn't see anything interesting. And then we started one business, which is a casino platform for sweepstakes. So if you want to start a sweepstakes casino, you can do it through our platform, start a casino. Why? Because Malta is the main country in the world for iGaming, for online casinos. I was avoiding that industry for a while, but then I started because it was a good opportunity with my friends, who I knew were some of the best people in tech. And we started another company, which is TradeLocker, a couple of months after. And now both are very successful, working with some of the biggest clients in the world. And there are other businesses that were, and the agency, let's say the agency, was never super big. it still exists. I still work with the same clients for like last 5 years, churn zero. I had an interesting also topic. I had a tool, a software for vape shops and CBD shops.
Okay,
that
like
was
e-cigs,
kind of
right?
my, if you can call it SMMA.
Yep.
I didn't know about SMMA then.
Back
It
then.
was just like 2019 I started it, and it basically saved me through COVID because I had an merger and acquisition company that I helped scale the company that was acquiring vape and CBD shops, and they grew from 6 to 28. It's not my business, but then their relatives contacted me to help them, and I created a tool that connects your POS. So,
Yep. Point of sale system.
yeah, point of sale with the CRM, with SMSs, with emails, with campaigns for like also sweepstake campaigns where you can earn points and this and that, loyalty. It was all so good, and customer support also. So it was amazing, grew that to very high levels at that time very quickly. And then the regulation in the US started changing. You cannot send SMSs through Twilio to those kind of clients and this and that. And then it slowly scaled down. And again, I didn't know what to do.
Yep.
And that's when iGaming, TradeLocker, and everything else.
Everything started. So fast forward when you start TradeLocker, where you guys are at now. Obviously, in the space that you are, you're obviously well known and work, as you said, work with some of the largest clients. We're in your offices now here in Zagreb, where it's a gorgeous office, by the way.
Thanks.
And it's Sunday now, so there's not a lot of people here. What's your take on, as you were growing TradeLocker, how did the internal now operations change? Where obviously you started it with a couple of people,
Yeah.
and then you started growing it. You started getting some traction, and now we're in this beautiful building with a lot of people. How did that transform? How did TradeLocker look at the start? And when you guys had an idea, the first website, the first platform, and how does it look compared to now?
Yeah, I'll skip the first, I don't know how many months of development where we couldn't even launch anything.
Yeah.
But then when we launched, it was exactly about 2 years, now like 2 years, 2 months before, like April 2023. And that's when we launched. We had 0 clients, obviously 0 everything. We didn't have a website or anything. And then the most important thing was, what are we gonna do to earn money? Because it's such a difficult business model. Probably, if you ask me, the most difficult thing you can build in tech and the most difficult thing you can sell is probably the most difficult business model you can imagine. Because
that's the second time you said this. you have a track record. The tourist agency was a tough business model.
it was
Tough business model.
Travel agency was the most unrewarding business model, where you can learn the most, but you earn shit money compared to how much you work.
Yeah.
The trading platform probably very similar, but
Do you think you pick tough business models on purpose?
no, I just think I go into what's in front of me, and then I'm stupid enough to
To keep at it.
not to question it. I like that saying, like, it's not about how fast you row, but which boat you're in. I pick like TradeLocker is a huge boat, but it's just fucking difficult to row it. I don't know. You have to build an engine.
Yeah.
An engine is super sensitive because it's other people's money that you basically operate with. So how it works is basically every second you check it from a few dozen times to a few hundred times, like what's the price of each instrument, each position for each trader. So, and you store that data. So it's terabytes of data that we have per day. You cannot miss it. You have to be integrated with different tech providers. So that's the engine itself. Then you have the front end, which has to be sexy, interesting, so that people adopt you. You have to be marketing, has to be amazing, and sales process super long. Why? Because there is one player that dominates the industry. And if you're in fintech watching this, you know that it's super traditional. Like you just stick to what works. You don't change that. That's very risky to change a platform and the engine. And so I look at, there's nothing, no growth team, nothing, I'm alone. And we're testing the platform. We say, okay, we need to start this. We launched it 3 weeks earlier for a reason because like the tech wasn't ready. We just wanted to launch. There is no right time to do this. And you cannot try the platform. We just make a landing page. And why we did that? I was looking at competitors. You don't understand. I'm not a trader. I wasn't in the industry. And I was lucky to work in so many different industries, so I can learn very fast. I can find what's important fast. So I look at the websites, I see that I don't understand any of those words. Why would I care? Why would anybody else care? Because probably they know the same amount of information that I have. If you're a trader, so I suppose that no trader ever visits those websites because they don't care. They just assume that's a platform. I don't care about the brand. I'll trade on it. And I said, okay, that's our advantage. We're just gonna do the opposite. We're gonna make it trader-centric because the other websites were business-centric. A business knows how fast the execution is in milliseconds. They know how many, whatever, how the API works. Is drill time or what's the delay for endpoints? This doesn't matter to a trader. So we made it relevant for the trader, super sexy, something new in this industry because nothing changed for a long time and now this is something new. Here's 10 questions. We ask you 10 questions. You cannot get access to the platform, but we don't tell you yet. You answer those questions, then we used, these were 120,000 people that filled out this form. Still today, we use it for lead gen. And that basically we had 0 paid ads, 0 invest in marketing. If you search for TradeLocker, you will see tons of people, influencers, traders, creating content about us. We have great SEO. We have, I don't want to even say no, we have hundreds of thousands, maybe even over a million emails. And it's all organic. And our growth team was 3 people in the beginning, me and 2 other people, and then we slowly grew it. We're now less than 10, I think. If you want pure growth, maybe 5 people in marketing, maybe. And super efficient, all organic. And the difference is when we were starting out, we had to figure out what is sustainable. We don't have enough money to target owners of brokers. They're not even public. How are you going to reach them? SEO, why would anybody care? And you have to invest millions probably to outrank those big players. Cold emails, why would anybody care? Again, it's huge risk. Nobody will care. And the only chance we had was if 10,000 or 100,000 traders go to a broker and tell them you have to have TradeLocker, they don't have any chance. That was our thesis and it proved like to be right.
It proved right. It proved right. Obviously, the team grew. How many people you guys are now?
We're, to be honest, I don't know exactly, but over 50.
Over 50.
Yeah.
And most of the team is in office here.
Basically all of them.
Whole team
we have
is in
just a
office.
few people outside that are actively involved. Yeah.
Why was that? Why did you make that decision to do in office versus remote?
Yeah, I used to organize remote work, educational calls and webinars with the Chamber of Commerce of my country. And so I'm a big proponent of remote work, but when it makes sense. And if you're working on something so sensitive and it's so important to compete, because we are not in this industry to just be another one. We are in this industry to be the biggest. And one of the biggest advantages is if you have people next to you. So you just ask yourself a question, would we be better if we're just next to each other? Or we have some kind of delay and remote? No, for sure we will be better if we're next to each other. And just that company doesn't have remote people, basically. So we're just in the office. That was the decision.
So in office culture, you mentioned this through the early phases of hiring, that basically the core team that you built up was everyone, basically referral based. Everyone who knew someone, the most competent people in their network, you would basically sort of poach them and bring them along. You call it professional nepotism almost. Yeah,
we have, my partners are either people I knew as developers before, one of which, whose office we are in, was actually leading one of the organizations that connects the best entrepreneurs in the world with me. And that's how we met. First, maybe billionaires and very successful people of the biggest companies in the world. And that's why we started also TradeLocker together and a couple of businesses together. And then he already knew a bunch of good people and he already built a couple of teams before. And then I knew and other people knew. And then it was just like, first, I think 40 hires were all the people we either work with already or that we knew people who work with, or they recommended, or employees recommended us and introduced us. And those are the best because if us, like, let's say we're 10 here and we're all giving our souls for business and we really care, and the 11th person comes, they will either do the same
Yep.
or they will leave themselves.
Yep.
Like usually that's what
Yep.
happens. So
Yep.
if you're not a performer, you don't even want to be here.
Right.
Like, it's obvious.
Yeah. So that's the culture you guys very intentionally built.
Like, it's not even intentional, but the people we work with they're just good, and they would do this anyways. I know people who work like that. They get hired in companies that are slow. They just leave. You say, no, nothing is bad.
Yep.
It's just too slow. It's
Yep.
just not the way I'm used to work.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're lucky to have really good people who trust us. We trust them, and that's it. Yeah.
So one of the things that's super interesting for me, and I'm genuinely curious of sort of what led up to the decision and what was your thought process is, you guys recently went through the process and hired an external CEO to come into the business. What was the thought process behind making that decision, and how did it come to be?
Yeah, so the company is at a stage where we want to structure it in such a way when someone from outside comes in, they know how the business works. Because at the moment, like, we were trying to grow as quickly as possible,
Yep.
and then like, we were ignoring all these things that that you need basically to just scale with outside company. For example, if an investor comes or if you want to
Yep.
exit, all of this was missing just because we were like, oh, who cares about
Yep.
that? Let's
Yep.
just grow. And now is, I think, good time to do that. We were looking for a CEO from the industry, someone from
Yep.
the trading world, and experienced to help us structurize everything, to create a strategy, because we have it in our heads. We just
Yep.
never formalized it, never
Yep.
wrote it down on paper to just see what's going on, and to be able to also to explain it to somebody outside who doesn't know what we know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just so anybody can come, everything's clear. You know who are the C-level people, who is responsible for the what are the goals, how you measure them,
Yep.
and where are we going.
Yep.
Like, that's part of the business that I haven't seen in the past. I don't have experience.
Right,
in
at
it.
that level. Right.
Yeah, at that level, and yeah, now we're learning. I don't think that's a big problem, but it's another huge thing that you need to work on together with everything else that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it takes a lot of time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's important.
I think what you mentioned is you guys are, as a company, now at the point where it becomes important enough to sort of set up those kind of core procedures, professionalize, institutionalize the company. And I know you guys are industry leaders. You guys are working with some of the best clients. You guys work in a very high touch, high risk industry where you're doing a lot of the important stuff. Do you think that changed the way you ran the company? Because it was not just you're sort of handling something on the side. Like what you guys do, what your platform does, is so integral to the companies that end up becoming your clients. Do you think and then you guys pick to have an office, you guys pick to sort of institutionalize with a professional CEO. Do you think that was a part of your thought process where we're dealing with something that's so important, we're dealing with something that's so critical for our clients, we need to make sure that it's absolutely bulletproof and the team and the environment is the best possible, so we can then have the trust of the largest players in the industry to do that.
So when we started, we just wanted a number, a quantity. So we just wanted clients. Now we're at the stage we were in the stage where huge companies reach out, and then we're in touch, some of them for a year, for even 2 years, where I talk to them, and it's just something super important to work with the biggest ones. That's probably the number one reason why we're doing this. Because you have to know what's happening in each situation when it comes to scaling, at what point you start doing something, at what point you stop doing something, what's the priority for the whole company, then each department, how it translates to the vision. All of that, everybody in the company needs to know. Everybody needs to communicate the same thing and know where we're going.
Yeah.
And when you're small, that even is bad. It's even bad if you focus too much on it because you don't have all the answers and you're just spending time on something you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but when that's clear, that's super important for large companies, enterprise companies, when they come in. You got to know those answers. Everything needs to be clear. and communicate it.
And so when you're making those decisions on when is the right time to start something, when is the right time to stop something, what is your decision-making process? Are you a very much a data-driven guy? You want to make sure that, before making a decision, you need to make sure all the numbers are, exactly how it needs to be, and pull all of your insights from that? Or are you more of a sort of gut, pure sort of talent, business acumen that you've experienced over time, and you sort of lead with that more in decision-making? What sort of decision-making profile?
For me, because I'm directly involved in all revenue generation and lead all the sales, marketing,
All the growth.
all the growth part, I would say I'm neither. I'm just, or you can say I'm both.
Both.
Because it's not like I look at the numbers and then I make a decision. I just like have a pulse of the industry and on the clients, because I'm on so many sales calls and I'm talking all the time with people in the industry that I know and see what's important. And that's how we made decisions back in the beginning until now. I'll probably make very similar decisions in the future. And that helps a ton, because I think nobody you hire will do that. Takes tons of energy and mental focus and mental energy. And why would they? I don't even expect that from somebody who is not the founder. But, and maybe that will change in the future, but that helped make better decisions than the competitors who maybe don't have founders involved in the business. And I would say what we did really well is I think we made almost no mistakes, because you also cannot afford mistakes in our business. Like, we made almost no mistakes in terms of where are we going. And it's so obvious to me. If it's not obvious, I don't make a decision.
So it's either a hell yeah or no.
Yeah, like it's literally so obvious, and it's like the right time, just in time, or we just don't do that yet. And we just have it somewhere, and we have a great team. And and Luca, who is also so he's also one of the main people in the company. We just put it in the backlog. You just know it's there, but it's not time yet. And you have so many things which are amazing, but they're not yet. And it doesn't need to look like a mistake. It just can look like a wrong thing, which looks so cool at the wrong time, that it just separates you from the opportunity that if you do it now, it just jumpstarts you. I have a video on YouTube where I talk about this, like you have a pipe, you have water, and you have a bucket. First thing you have to have is the pipe and the bucket, and then the water needs to flow there. So you have the pipe is basically, or the source, those are the customers. You need to know who are the customers, you need to have the product. And then the pipe is what leads the customers to the product. And then you look at what's the next problem. Is the pipe clogged so the water cannot flow? Or there is no bucket? Or is the flow too small? You have to see what's the next problem. You're not worrying about the size of the bucket if there's no water. That's how I look at my businesses. Like, there is no point in having the best bucket if there's not even water. And that's the most common mistake. People solve the wrong problem.
Makes a ton of sense. Final question I got for you. And I know you guys, the reason I asked this, because I saw you guys recently either launched this or are in the process of launching. It's AI related. And I know you're super deep into the industry, super deep into following all the trends and everything that's happening. Talk me through your thought process. What is your take on AI currently? How are you guys adopting it? Number one, through your features, but maybe then potentially how are you guys adopting it internally?
So I think when you ask me the question, first thing that comes to my mind is, one of the things that comes to my mind is how amazing you guys are at determining what is important. Like, is it really important to have AI right now? Because I find myself in situations where, wow, this is so amazing, we have to implement that. And then I start and I'm thinking, okay, but it's just like 2 clicks. And I will spend a whole day or a week doing that. Is that really the thing? Because in 3 months, that'll be even better. And this first version will look like shit in 3 months compared to the 3 months version. And then you come to a realization that most of these things, if it's not complete from A to Z, it doesn't even matter. So what I do is we look at what are the tools, and this is just on the way. Like you just see the tool, is it important, is it not? Unless something is so repeatable and so consistently repeated, we don't touch it. We don't automate it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you guys helped a lot as well, because it just gives you that clarity, common sense from the third party, because you're in every day juggling things, fires everywhere and blah, 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 and you just try to get to the point where it's just like you have to do something. And then talking to you guys who are very common sense in the operations, we just see what's measurable, what actually make a difference. And that's how we look at it. In product, it's a little bit different. In product, you have to see how much resources you have. Do you really need to make this? Why are you making it? Sometimes you have to make something to look cool, but really does it make a difference? Because in a complex product like ours, if a feature is being used by 7% of people in a week, and every week, that's pretty good. And that sounds very low, but even if it's 1% daily, that's pretty good. So we just think about, will that AI bring us more money, more revenue? Is it actually making the difference? Who does it make difference to? Businesses or customers or traders? And then we make a decision. We have a couple of AI products. And I have other businesses where I have where we're using AI even more than in TradeLocker to, for example, develop. But TradeLocker is super complex. You cannot develop those things with AI still.
So I think the one thing you said is like the principles are the same, whether you're building internal products or external products, features. The principle must be the same, which is this what we're going to be? Is this thing that we're gonna either implement AI or technology or automation of any kind relevant enough to matter, and not just implement it for the sake of implementing it?
So the cool thing is, if you're starting out, there's no differentiation between your competitors and your competitors who have been there for 30 years. Then for all, like, do something with AI, because you'll differentiate that way and you'll get that first traction. But if you're not, it doesn't really matter most of the time. And probably there is something more important at the moment that you need to do. And that's kind of what I look at it. Same thing, pipe, flow, bucket. Is this the thing that will bring us to the next level? If it's not, then I just don't even think about it. It's somewhere on the list. We have tons of AI features that we can do, and we just in one day test it out. But usually it's not the next thing. It's not the next thing that is going to bring us to the next level.
And final question, I said final question, one more. Where is Luka going in the next couple of years, and where is TradeLocker going as a company as well? What are your plans? I know you guys are already dominating the market, and I'm sure that's about to continue. I want a trailer of what is to come, of what will transpire over the next couple of years.
Well, thank you. I don't think we're dominating. I think we're taking a large amount of attention, but dominating, we will need another 2-3 years, and if we do everything right, we'll get there. I think we've been through the most difficult period. It's still not easy, but now it's like you have the momentum, you have the flywheel going, and it's really, if I look at any business that I've built and I've seen, this really is like flywheel to the core. Like it's just like huge momentum. If I have to explain how everything works, there's so much strategy and smart growth tactics that it's amazing. I'm proud of it. And it's difficult to stop it. There is a real moat there. And what are my plans? I want to make TradeLocker work even more without me having to be there operationally, so I can make better decisions and do the next thing, work with the big clients, onboard huge brokers, which we're going to launch the partnership with soon. And I wanted to go further. In the next 2 years, I want to continue doing what I'm doing, start cool businesses, hire great people, the best people to help me operate them, and just get to the next level, next step on the journey.
Cool. Awesome. Luka, thank you. Thanks so much for the podcast. It's been great, and we need to do a part 2 sometime in the future. Awesome.
Amazing.
Cool.
Cool.
Top.